Now, talking about avenues, I talk about beauty, and it's really personal. Talking about beauty is not only personal. In fact, we've seen examples because we're talking about a project including this beauty. But how do we observe avenues as being beautiful? So I would like to come back on the definition of avenues and ways. And now, first of all, I chose this picture because these are mirabelle trees in Lorraine, and in the various contributions, and I asked my friends to tell me what they understood under beauty, and disabled people actually send me text. Sometimes with a Krüppel Allee, it was in German, that is a sort of not straight avenue. And so, because it's something we bear in ourselves, and so the beauty we see is the beauty we have in our deep self, to sum up all this. Now, coming back to the avenue, or ways, because as you said, in English we speak avenue, something taking us to a point, which is also a word in the Traité du Jardin, Gardens Treaty, is the term allée, which is being used in more in general way in French. And so the avenue is an architecture with columns and arcades, also most of them covered, and we see this in 1707. A more contemporary definition is from the landscaper, from Arnold, with a wonderful book which you can see on the table here in this hall. And
without a roof. Donc une rue sans les arbres est comme un bâtiment sans une toiture.
So it's been quoted in English and translated into French. Boisseau, in his treaty in 1738, says that the avenue is a kind of open space and covered space, closed with arcades and columns, and with trees on either side, where we can walk and have a walk and ramble around. And so this is a notion of architecture, and this is the explanation of the architectural terms. And in the Diderot dictionary, we speak of a corridor. So it's specific architecture because we have a dynamic notion and which plays a very important role. And so it was logical to ask an architect who wrote a thesis on the notion of rhythm. So it was very interesting to ask such an expert to explain the beauty of a tree. So subjective beauty, or do we really have an objective basis which would explain the beauty of these avenues? And then we'll carry on talking about this notion of beauty. What for, actually? And the fundamental question is this notion of beauty, can it be integrated in public policies? And to me, it was something really obvious. And this is why I wanted to have someone from Norway, and I really definitely wanted someone from Norway to speak about this topic, because the Norway Road Management was awarded a prize of beautiful ways, and they got this prize regarding the avenue planted in 1920, and the objective was to plant it for 500 years. And so this morning, Eric mentioned the landscaper and also the landscape in the 1960s in the United States. In Norway, the road management, would count 40 landscapers. And so there were 3 books on avenues, and these people were able in their books to write something we would rather hear from the mouth of NGOs, for example. And sometimes, you need 500 years for a tree to grow and then 5 minutes just to fell it. Now, regarding the Norway policies, now with his presentation, with Fjell, we speak about beauty, and then we'll speak about aesthetics as well, going beyond the visual perception in order to integrate other sensitive aspects. This morning we're talking about scent and fragrance, but then we also could imagine the colors as well. And we're going to move from a sort of a centralized vision with Pontitou or the King Baudouin or the other German example, which was mentioned, we're going to shift to a kind of democratic vision. Because Norway, then just like Sweden, take really into account the beauty aspect including in their laws, and they do it in the implementation of the European Convention on Landscape. So the European Convention on Landscape from the Council of Europe. And as a reminder, I would say that the Council of Europe today accounts for 46 states, Russia being excluded because of the war last years, and its mission, and which was created just after the Second World War, which was the first European organization to promote democracy, protect human rights, and rule of state in Europe. And so this convention has its values. So this notion of democracy promotion being integrated in the Norwegian approach. The sensitive approach, perception by the citizen, is also an approach covered by the Aude department, and which will be presented by Nadine Darson-Boeta, developing a new artistic policy and a touristic policy. And then later on, I think we're going to have some entertainment with kind of slides, and then I will take the floor again to speak about tourism to add up to the beauty aspect, and we'll speak about the cultural roots between tourism and European cohesion. And then we'll have Élodie Gray will sort of echo the various presentations we heard this afternoon to say that as a specialist in communication, for example, then do we have a gem in our hands so we could do something out of it?